Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 28, the big winter preview, with me, George, and as always joined by Tom. Big gaming release to my unfortunately timed bodily release. How's it going?
I'm good, thank you.
Tom, do you want to give people... No, you aren't allowed the wheels at this part of the show.
I'm not.
I'll take them on a grand tour.
You do that.
So, Tom, starting off, we're going to have a little bit of news coming up. And in there, we're going to talk about the fact that it's okay to game now. It's not a dangerous habit, but we'll have more on that.
That's good to hear.
Then we're going to go to our feature, which is the big games of winter. Lots of people got in touch, share their up-and-coming dream games, and we previewed our big hitters that we want to see in Santa's sack, and then spread all over the floor on our faces that next morning. Then it's the listener Stingray, the main part of the show, the bulk of what the whole building's built around. At the bunker, it's the listener Stingray, where we look at people's pickups, hashtag Stingrays boot. And then, Tom, the show ends with a little bit of the main man himself, the Stingray, new releases. Then I ask you what you're hoping to play, and the show begins when I ask you what you've been playing.
I have been playing this week. I picked up Overwatch on the Switch. Yeah. It was a little bit disappointing.
On the Switch, is it like a top-down 2D twin-stick shooting game?
No, close enough though. So what was what I'd class a bit of a botched launch, because the game released to tie on the same day that the rest of the game was being updated for the Halloween event. So what you had is, I thought, right, great, I've woken up. I've pre-downloaded Overwatch. I'll have a game.
I've woken up.
Result. Yeah, I'm alive. I'll have a match before I go to work, because I was up early with the baby, and so turn it on. It says you must download the latest patch. That patch didn't go live until 7 o'clock that night. So can you imagine? Right, just for a minute.
Does that mean you didn't go to work because you were waiting to play?
Yeah, just like, no, I'm gonna wait. I want
to play a game before work, so I'll wait.
So the game was completely unplayable for a whole day. I know this is like first world problems, but if you take into account someone who might have booked the day off and thought, as people do sometimes, like really looking forward to a game, they think, I'll book the day off. I've got a spare day's holiday. You imagine doing that? You just wasted a whole day. Like, you can't play the game you've had the day off for. I think that's a really bad botch launch, and they had the whole political thing that we won't touch on too much at the New York event that was cancelled by Blizzard. Well, they kind of left Nintendo to deal with the mess. So, yeah, a little bit.
Why was it cancelled?
Because of something to do with Blizzard and the Chinese riots, but again, it's political. We don't do that on the show.
So doesn't the Chinese company own part of Blizzard, and therefore they couldn't be deemed to be being controversial about what's going on in Hong Kong?
If that's correct, that's correct. I don't listen to real news because it's horse muck.
Wow.
Fired
up.
Yes.
Let's point them in the right direction and watch them.
So
down.
Overwatch Switch runs at 30 frames per second. I never used to think that was a problem until I've played the PS4 one and the Xbox version, and you can really tell, sadly. I recommend, if you're going to play Overwatch on a TV, you get it on PS4 or Xbox One. Obviously, if you've only got a Switch, then get it on that. But if you want to play on handheld, it's great. It is cool to have it portable like that. You're going to need a Wi-Fi connection to get anything out of the game, though. But it's just nice to be able to, I don't know, play in bed or play on the toilet. But anyway.
How long does one of your toilet evolutions last normally?
It depends how long the match is going to last.
Do you play that whole match with your pants and trousers pulled down?
Absolutely.
Why? How do you wipe?
You scarring the viewers, the listeners.
How do you wipe? Do you find like a safe space in the mat to like wipe, or do you leave?
Wait till the end.
How long does a match last?
Upwards of 10 minutes.
So you've got your own feces smearing around your back passage for 10 minutes while you play this game, sat there with your trousers down, completely naked. I don't think toilet gaming's the future.
Do you not?
I think it's a little wrong. When you call it out in the cold light of day, it sounds very strange.
That's people who what?
Do you
People who own Switches? That's what we do.
Do you
We
flush
play on the
away
toilet.
your waste matter, or do you sit on top of this said steaming pile?
Flush. Give it a flush.
So, do you go for a flush while you're doing a reload mid round?
Yeah.
Hang on, reload.
Multitasking. So I've been playing Overwatch on the Switch, and Red
Sounds
Dead.
like the cart from inside the Switch, the Overwatch one, should probably follow your brown submarine as it slips down the porcelain causeway.
Speaking of which, there was no cartridge. I downloaded digitally anyway, because I knew it's nice to just have it that you can click on it and play. I wasn't bothered about the box edition. But they released the box edition with the download code in it, so no physical copy of the game other than the box, which is disappointing for some people, I'm sure.
So you go down the shop, you waddle down the shop.
Yeah,
you pick up your cans of Rockstar Energy Drink and your Rustler's Burger and a plastic case.
And a Hair Panzer hat.
Yeah, a clear plastic case containing a piece of paper.
Yeah, good times. Well, you get the... I suppose you get the case for your shelf, as Ozcat will no doubt be pleased.
I think you've probably gone a little bit too news night on what you've been playing. What else you've been playing?
Red Dead Redemption, more of that online. I did...
Who's won a prize?
I don't know. I feel like I should be allowed to talk
Episode
about the best
28,
game ever made.
Episode 28, we've not gone one episode without that word being mentioned.
It is the best game ever made.
Pick a winner. Otaka Bram has won some...
Muscles.
Oh, gone off ones.
Yeah, stinky ones.
Don't eat them.
No.
Unless you want to... Well, if you've got a Switch at Otaka Bram, it might be a good excuse.
To spend more time.
Yeah, if you've got a Switch and a non-gamer partner...
You'll definitely be getting to the Grandmaster level of Overwatch.
Break in case of emergency. Just have them in the bathroom ready to go.
Yeah. I've been dabbling in Red Dead Online again. I watched the PC trailer for that the other day. It's a minute long and it's just...
Yeah, I've watched that.
Awesome. I feel like we'll probably see a re-release in the similar vein of GTA 5 when it went onto the next-gen consoles. The same, I think they'll do with Red Dead 2, which would be cool.
Maybe again. Something to put your cup of tea on while you're playing another game.
Oh, that's never out of the disc tray.
It will be on PS5.
Hopefully so. There'll be some new
stuff. Have you been playing anything else?
One last one. Friend of mine picked up the PlayStation, as I've discussed last week, and we've been playing Street Fighter 5, which has been enjoyable. I must have another moan about... I've got a few gripes this week with gaming.
Oh, no. Go on.
Capcom, in that game...
What have they done wrong?
Just microtransactions in general. Disgusting.
I thought you liked microtransactions.
I hate them.
Oh.
I think,
I thought you said they're the future of gaming. Give me a free game and then just let me buy the content I want. That's what I'm happy about.
I'm sure.
I don't want to pay 60 quid for Street Fighter. I only play one character.
That's a good point, you know.
Well, there you go.
If you only play as one character. But no, I don't, so... kind of wanting all
always
these characters.
Just lifting the blinkers back on your world and you're like, oh, that's scary, put them back.
Yeah, I hate the rest of the world outside the bunker.
Well, you don't live in there anymore, do you? You've gone off with your woman, you're estranged, you leave me here on my own.
Yeah, I ventured out one day. And
speaking of which, Herr Crowther spilt some creosote near the aft ventilation port. I had a fever dream based on what I've been playing, Concrete Genie. Mumsy found me outside in my... I don't know, paint-splattered Y-fronts, having scrawled obscene images across the walls of the inside and outside of the bunker. She's been working night and day with the whitewash.
Play the game, live the game.
That's exactly what I've been
You have
doing.
definitely been into that. Just before we move on, sorry, because I need to ask you what you've been playing. I downloaded the free trial of Mortal Kombat 11 over the weekend as well, which was very generous of them, I thought. It got me quite hooked. I nearly bought it if I'd have had more money, but yeah, really good beat.
That was the aim of the free
trial.
trial.
Obviously, yeah. Strong advertising skills there. But yeah, really good. Recommend that if anyone's into the beat 'em ups. But yeah, it's only polite to ask you what you've been playing.
As we creep into the 15-minute mark, I dare to say...
Really?
No, you're all right.
That's good.
Well, here we go, listeners. Here's a feature you thought was dead. Tom brought it to life and then left it dead and unloved at the back door, like that puppy he got for Christmas that weighed too much and he didn't want the responsibility, so he let it die. I want to bring in Love, Leave or Lair, Tom, for Concrete Genie. What's your thoughts on that?
I've not played it.
What do you think about the feature, Love, Leave or Lair? Your cutting edge feature you brought in to sandwich between what you've been playing and the news. And I'm going to throw in Concrete Genie. I'm going to give you a little run through and tell you whether it's a Love, Leave or Lair.
Go for it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Before I launch into that, do you want to know what I've been playing this week?
Concrete Genie.
Other than that?
Other than that, you've had more?
Yeah.
More.
We'll have a quick fever run through if you like.
Okay.
GTA 3 on the PS2. Don't know why, but I've been wanting to have a look at it. I've also reloaded GTA 4, and I wanted to play the opening sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes of that.
Let's go bowling.
All that, and I've, in a way, still galvanises my thoughts. That's the best Grand Theft Auto we've ever had.
Story-wise, I agree.
Just in every way, the feel of the city, the lot.
Oh, actually, I think San An is the best overall one. Then 4 for the story, then 5 just for, obviously, how much you can do in it.
4 just always felt like a more real place.
Yeah, it feels very small, though.
And I've also been playing Dark Souls.
Lies. I don't believe it.
I swear down. Mm-hmm. Yes.
One?
Yes.
Demon Souls or Dark Souls?
Dark Souls. I've
The
got
first
Demon
one.
Souls, but I haven't played it.
I've never dabbled in that, actually.
So I've got Dark Souls. So I beat the dragon, and I got out, and there's like a crow or something. So I know that I remember this, because when I first started playing, I thought, oh, I've played this before.
The only reason I think they're hard is because they require a lot of patience. If you can get past that, you will complete it eventually.
I think the controls are janky. That's why it's so hard.
Oh yeah, I think the early 1 and 2 are
From
very...
Software games, the Emperor's New Clothes of games. It's like let's say we release a mediocre podcast, but tell everyone that it's just because you don't understand it.
I see your point.
An unquality controlled piece of blob, and then they're like, well, you're not hardcore unless you can play this game. 0 deaths.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. That bit is a lie. I died a lot.
Definitely. I died a lot in 2 and 3 at the start. The learning curve. It's weird how now...
Have you played 1 before?
No.
It's very janky. I think they probably improved it for the sequel in 3, but oof.
You've not been playing the remaster then? It's the original.
I've got it on PS3.
Oh, okay.
These games are cheap enough when they get
There is rumours of Demon Souls being remade for PS5, isn't there? But yeah.
Just give us a new game already.
I think the fans want Bloodborne 2, don't they? More than anything. And I'd take Sekiro 2.
Okay, well.
But yeah. So,
Concrete Genie. Love, leave or lair, Tom? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's not a lair, or a liar, as you would call it.
Liar.
So you can cover up the pit from the world's worst PS3 game, because it's not going in there. And you can tell by the way I'm talking, it's not a leave either. I think it's a love. And here's why. You're this little kid playing this world. It's a fishing port. Bad feelings taken over, and it's made it all dark. There's clouds and other bits and bobs. And these bullies that kind of run around in this town that stop you from being able to do the paintings on the wall. Some stuff happens. You get bullied. Your book gets taken away. Page gets animated. Then you start getting these powers. Everything you've seen in the trailer with the graphics and all that's really good. Probably not as free-flowing an art package as you'd expect. Don't feel you're going to go up there and tag your name on a wall.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. I'm
so
sure
is it templates that you can draw? Or
like templates and stencils, basically, that you're putting on. And you create these genies with the tool sets that you get given and you collect. And then they're used to sort of operate in the gaming world. So you can call them along walls and they come. It's a little bit like... do you remember that Zelda game that came out for the 3DS that you got all animated about? The
Link Between Worlds.
Yes, where you could like shift. And
Yeah,
walk
you
the
go
wall,
on the
and you kind of spread yourself around a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that, and they ask for things to be painted on the wall, which you can do. Generally, the first bit of it's a bit of a collectible, but it's short.
Is
but
it?
The price reflects that at $24.99.
Have you finished the game?
Yes. Two
so
more things to find for the platinum.
What would you say is the running time for an average playthrough? That's good on the platinum.
8.5 hours to finish it with a platinum.
Okay.
Maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
Between 8 and 12.
It's not a bad thing this time of year either to have a short game to get stuck into and just enjoy over a week.
Well, it's a weekend.
A weekend. Either or. I did the same with Mario Odyssey a couple of years ago. Got it for Friday, and I think I finished it by the Monday evening.
Wow,
Really?
I thought that was a lot bigger game than that.
Yeah, this is like playing from the first world to the last one. Obviously, there's a lot more. You can go back and collect all the stars. Was it stars on there? Yeah, I think so. Okay. But the collecting side, there's obviously a lot more there. But yeah, that sounds very good.
You'd like it. I think if it comes down in price a bit more, you should pick it up.
Yeah, obviously this time of year there is a lot of competition,
and for the young gamers out there, Devonzilla,
yeah,
Game Boy Matty, definite pick up.
A family-friendly title then.
Very family-friendly.
Did you play with the VR?
Not done that yet.
Not tried it.
No. Another games I've been playing, Ratchet and Clank Trilogy on the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Something tells me I was playing something on the PSP. But my mind gets away from me. Tom, have we dragged on with what you've been playing?
We have, yeah.
Video game news show where the two people on the mics played video games in the last week. Dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Dangerous territory.
Let's move on on from the self-indulgence.
Yes, it's the news, Tom. We've scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, do you want this, or do you want me to lead the charge forward?
I'll go first if you want.
Okay.
Capcom the Necromancer.
What's this all about? James has been busy.
He has. Capcom, currently riding high off the back of franchises like Resident Evil and Monster Hunter, and also Devil May Cry, says they plan on bringing back dormant franchises as well as developing new IPs. In Capcom's 2017 investor report, the developer...
2019?
What did I say?
You said 2017.
I did.
I would normally pull you up for that, but that's a bit wrong.
In Capcom's 2019 investor report, the developer says awakening dormant intellectual properties is one of their top 3 priorities, as is developing new brands. Capcom last year released a wildly popular Monster Hunter World and broadened the appeal of one of its hallmark franchises. And in 2019 remade the classic Resident Evil 2 to resounding critical and commercial success. The new report also notes that Capcom plans on continuing to develop remakes of popular games for modern platforms. While the report doesn't make clear which franchises Capcom plans to revive, we can think of a few very exciting possibilities with Breath of Fire, Dino Crisis, Lost Planet and Final Fight.
Any others? What would you like?
I think it's fairly well covered there. I don't think we're going to see another Street Fighter for a while because it's currently played a lot at the is it the Evo gaming tournaments a hell of a lot.
What about Dead Rising?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I'd like to see Lost Planet, seeing that mentioned there. I enjoyed the first one of those on the 360, wasn't it?
It feels old game now.
Yeah, it probably will, but again, it could be. It felt like one of those launch games, but it was a launch game that never came for a long time, isn't it?
The second one was better. But
it's one of those you used to look in the magazine and you see like the potential of like what the games were going to be like, and then
Lost Planet was a sizzle reel.
It was, yeah. Just trying to think of dormant Capcom franchises.
I don't think you need to worry about that too much. There's lots of 16 and 8-bit gems out there.
Yeah.
Balance is restored. Next bit of news, Tom. Despite words to the contrary this week, the story's confirmed. All's Fair Love Consoles, publisher private division, went on record to confirm the following. The Outer Worlds is enhanced for both Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. It includes 4K texture and resolution Xbox One X and PC, and upsamples to 4K from 1440p on PS4 Pro. It looks great across all platforms. We're excited for players to experience the Outer Worlds on October 25th. if fans stick around, Tom, we've got a little bit more information on Outer Worlds in our preview.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
What's your thoughts on that? Nice to see unilateral support
Yeah, obviously I found
from a
it very
Microsoft game studio.
Yeah, I found it very strange that obviously they'd come out and said it was just going to be the Xbox One X and PC, and then obviously they've
Had the wrist slapped and realised they're...
That's naughty. Don't do that.
Yeah. Quite a large market.
October 25th is going to be a busy Friday.
What are you doing?
Be picking up Call of Duty. The tumbleweed rolls.
Why are you doing that on launch? Is it that big a game?
Yeah.
Should have previewed it.
I'm playing a lot of online gaming at the minute, so I tend to looking forward to that.
Well, for the online?
Oh, yeah.
What about story?
I'll maybe give it a try.
Before I lose faith in humanity, you best give us this last bit of news.
I will. It's okay to have another game. There is little evidence suggests that gaming addiction is a clinically unhealthy habit for young people, scientists claim, calling existing fears exaggerated. Researchers from Oxford University and Cardiff University believe obsessive gamers are likely to have underlying frustrations and wider psychosocial functioning issues away from consoles. After studying more than 1,000 players and their caregivers, they think their excessive gaming could actually be a symptom of underlying frustration in life rather than a cause. If you're playing games in a potentially unhealthy way, is this a cause for your problems, or is it just another symptom? Are you blaming your runny nose for the fact you got sick? Good point. Professor Andrew Prozowski, Director of Research at the Oxford Internet Institute and co-author of the research, told PA, "What we found was if you don't have good relationships and you don't have a sense of choice in your life and you don't feel confident."
You ever been a problem for gaming, Tom? I know Mumsy's banned you from the console a few times when you've rage quit and thrown your new controller against the wall, but other than that?
I would actually say it's given me some good memories and helped me with problem-solving ideas. I really think it definitely has a strong... I have to deal with problems at work, and I think like real-time strategy games, puzzle games, stuff like that.
Real-time strategy games. It's the ongoing myth of the show.
In the past I have, and sort of puzzle games, things like Zelda, like dungeons and things like that. This stuff gets your brain working. I've never understood why people just use video games to blame for so many things. It's like back in the day where you get, don't sit too close to the TV, your eyes will go square. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it.
What about Johnny Go Lightly we went to school with, who ended up with square eyes?
Did he?
Yeah, actually had square eyes.
Wow. Oh, he must be a mysterious case then.
He is. He lives in a darkened room in his mum's back bedroom now. Next door to PCSO Ross Kemp.
Oh, really?
That's right,
okay.
Yeah.
Is this another character for us?
I've forgotten his name already. Hopefully Adam the artist who's listening, pen poised. Better get the easel out. It's time for Johnny Go Lightly.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing his current creation, though.
That
gave me a teaser taste of.
By the time this is live, the picture will be live.
Awesome. That's good news to hear. But going back to the psychological effects of gaming, it's something we'll probably look at in the future, doing an episode.
What about my concrete genie fever dream I had, high from creosote?
Perfectly natural.
Is that fine?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
It's a normal bodily function, perfectly natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think as well, it gives people... We're not all millionaires. We can't afford to go and do these things we're doing in video games in real life, so it gives us a chance to do stuff that we couldn't do.
Like get in a time machine, go back to World War II and kill a load of Germans?
No, not as such. I think, I don't know, racing a sports car around a track.
Yeah.
Playing in the Premier League. Wrestling in the WWF. Speaking of which, it's time. Couple of last bits of news.
No, one more bit.
2K games stand up because you should be ashamed of that wrestling game you're putting
I
out.
thought
I've been looking at previews of that. The characters look awful.
Apparently, they've done it in this style to sort of celebrate 25 years since the
What? They give it PS2 graphics?
Since the iconic Legends of Wrestling series.
Get it sorted. Do it now.
It's not going to be sorted. It's coming out. It will look like that.
Not the game, the whole thing. Get it sorted. Stop churning out this yearly garbage and do it now. Other news.
Wow, they've been told.
Fortnite Chapter 1 ends and Chapter 2 starts.
Is this going to be the show that's remembered for your sort of verging on near 2-hour rant?
I will wrap this up quick. I just thought that me and you played Fortnite before when it first came out. We've not really paid much attention to it since. But I did think that was very cool how they got rid of the map and replaced it. Nice way of doing it. But there's problems in Fortnite, isn't there, that we had a chat about at the start of the show, which we may discuss further down the line.
That's not for now, is it? No one wants to do that now.
No, they don't.
Tom, did we miss anything? Do you have an opinion or take on the news we might have list listeners? If so, Tom, how would the collected, and I mean collected thousands, how would they get in contact with us?
You can reach us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com or direct messages on Instagram or Twitter.
Now it's time for the bag.
Oh,
and
the bag.
Listeners, I must ask, so many of you listen to the show, yet so few 5-star ratings. What's wrong with you? This greatest show appears free on your smartphone on a weekly basis. All we ask is that you stop what you're doing. You stop, drop and roll, Tom. You stop. You drop the app. You flick open the area that you were listening to the podcast on and you press 5 stars. Technology's so good these days, you don't even need to stop listening. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, we would like a few more reviews, definitely.
Ingrates.
Sorry?
Ingrates.
Ingrates.
Not grateful, are they? All we want is a like.
Let's not get rid of the listener base too quick, because
I don't feel like I've said that much.
No.
That's all we ask.
I suppose I've just ruined our potential for any 2K games interviews, haven't I? So while we're on the
you're
subject,
knocking them off one at a time.
Yeah.
You had that controversial
Capcom
opinion about
and 2K
Nintendo
games.
Switch
Yeah.
Joy-Con drift.
Yeah. Then Overwatch, Blizzard have got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All getting it.
I got their press veto through the other day. Don't mention in reference with Blizzard, Hong Kong, or Tom.
Brilliant. Yeah, so please give us a review and be honest as well. Just if there's stuff you don't like about the show, say. No, they need to say.
Don't leave a review saying what they don't like.
We want feedback of any type.
Send us an email.
Okay. But the reviews have to be golden.
Well, we're encouraging people to go there because they don't seem to want to. I don't want to encourage them to go there and put hate mail there. It's a very select few reviews that we have. We want to keep that a very nice place full of positivity.
Okay.
Welcome people into the show. What do you want the first thing people see to come up? Oh, let's give that Unofficial Controller podcast go. Let's have a look at the review. The one with the big hair never shuts up, and the other one is barely intelligible at best. Neither of them has blatantly got a console or has played anything past Atari 2600. This show's absolute drivel. We don't want that there, do we?
No such thing as bad news.
No. Oh, okay. Maybe based on that, people will be very intrigued, maybe want to check us out.
Yeah.
After that review, though.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah. Oh, that would be brilliant.
Listening, great podcast.
Yeah.
Thumbs up emoji.
Thumbs up emoji all the time. So, yeah, please give us a review. Tell your friends about us, the usual stuff in the plea. Keep listening as well. If you're a loyal listener, we really appreciate it.
Tom, much like your silent but deadly, the beg began and ended. In and out. We don't want to dwell on that too much.
We don't.
What's going on with you? You're like a malfunctioning Robocop over there with your mic stand. What are you doing?
We're back in business.
Are you with us?
I'm with us.
Reattach your cybernetic arm. Is the speaker connected? We don't know.
Done. Shall we move on?
Lead on, sir. The reins of the show are in your hands.
The big Winter Games feature. This week's feature is a discussion around those big winter games. As always, you guys got in touch to share those dreams of what you're hoping for under the Christmas tree, or as we edge into the new year.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm excited. Are you?
I am very excited. First up,
Ooh.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Hold on there.
The force is looking strong with this one as the big bad EA enters the Christmas market with a new game from developer Respawn Entertainment, famous for Apex Legends and true underrated first-person shooter by the name of Titanfall 2. The other good news is that this relatively new team within Respawn has got people from God of War, Uncharted and Tomb Raider working within it. So they've got some good sort of experience there.
Bring us your waifs and strays.
Yeah. Jedi Fallen Order sees you as the young Jedi in hiding, Cal Kestis.
Can I just say, with some of the team that worked on God of War, guy from catering, Uncharted.
Yeah, these could be any role.
The guy that carried Amy Hennig's bag in Tomb
Yeah.
Raider. The guy that designed the little clip to hold the knife.
the carabiner.
Yeah, the carabiner.
Yeah. Well, moving on. So Jedi Fallen Order sees you as the young Jedi in hiding, Cal Kestis. After surviving the purge of the Jedi Order, which we saw in episode
Is that
3...
his name? Sorry to interrupt. Is that his name?
Cal Kestis, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I mean, it's a cool sounding sci-fi name, but it sounds like something that causes the lower half of your leg to drop off.
Are you going to talk over all of mine, so I will ridicule Outer Worlds, or can we crack on?
I'm not here. I'm not ridiculing Star Wars
Okay.
Jedi Fallen
You weren't very
Order.
pleasant about it earlier, were you?
Well, there's no need to get hurt. It's not yours, is it?
No, it's,
It's
my
not gonna
Christmas.
affect
It's
whether-
my Christmas game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is this why you're so defensive
It
of it?
is, yeah. It's that big Christmas hype game.
So you're not going to unwrap this till Christmas morning?
I think I might have it for my birthday, actually.
Oh, that's a shame, because I was hoping
Yeah.
to get it and finish it before Christmas, even though I'm not interested in it.
It's a great game. I love the bit where Yoda comes down on a wizard's broomstick and
Yeah.
kills Darth Vader.
No, he falls into
They've changed the canon. Vader's actually killed earlier on.
So anyway, now I've got some cream from a Cal Kestis. We'll move on.
Ridiculous. So the game is set after the purge of the Jedi Order, which we saw in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which is going to be quite an interesting aspect of seeing what happened there with the last few fleeing Jedi hunted down, as
I
we
wonder
always
if you were a
heard.
youngling that was spared Anakin's blade.
I don't
or
think
whether
it's
you
that-
were already out there being a badass.
Maybe. I don't think it's that big a leaping gap. I think this is probably a couple of years at best. We don't know for sure, but the music is going to be composed by Gordy Habb and Stephen Barton. The former is often referred to as the John Williams of the sci-fi games music. I know he's done Halo series, or some of it, contributed to it.
Right.
And the other Star Wars Battlefront game, among others. So, yeah, it's going to be nice to have the gravitas of the scores to go with the classic Star Wars sound effects, which is one thing Battlefront did really well, I thought. They nailed all those sound effects, the blasters, the thermo grenades, X-Wings, everything.
The sounds is a particularly good part of that game.
Yeah, audio is very good.
I haven't played the second one, so I wouldn't know.
We need to get that, I think, and give it a try.
Do
'cause
we
it's-
though?
No, it's come a long way, apparently, with a lot of the updates.
I'm kind of just done with it. It felt it feels a bit janky.
Yeah. Anyway, we better not digress. So, Jedi Fallen Order is a third-person action-adventure game with Dark Souls-style combat system and certain puzzle elements in the style of Metroid or Zelda, with new planets and areas opening up through your own exploration. The main enemy we've seen is someone called the Second Sister, who has been dispatched by none other than Darth Vader to bring Cal down and any other Jedi still in hiding.
Do you reckon that's... Do you know any more about that Second Sister thing?
I believe
Am
they've
I
been-
allowed to ask questions? Do I need to wait till the end?
No, you can. I believe they've been featured. I think there's like the ninth. I saw some footage the other day of the ninth sister, who's like I don't know the race of the alien that she is, but she's massive and like a sort of Darth Maul double-bladed.
No, so it's not
lightsaber.
anything to do with the Night Sisters from Star Wars.
I I believe they've been in the Rebels series. That's where they've been seen. So they're trying to keep
the other
it.
one? Clone Wars. I thought that they were in the Clone Wars.
I've not seen all of them, so I couldn't tell you for 100% if they were in it. So I don't know where this means we're going to get to see Vader himself in action and whether he's going to be like a secret boss.
I think we will, won't we? It's like Rogue One. I've not got enough confidence in my product, better wheel out Vader.
Yeah, but that scene of him in Rogue One is pretty good.
I like it, but
we never got to saw
him. Question here, yes. for Vader and that. I didn't mind him being in it. I didn't like the fact he was voiced by a now blatantly older man who sounds old. I know it's great that we've got James Earl Jones doing the voice, but when he sounds like he's having a go on his bloody inhaler,
yeah.
And I know that's how Vader's meant to sound, but he sounds older than he did when we remember him the first time. Couldn't they have got an actor or voice coded him down a little bit? I mean, crikey, they made Moff Tarkin out of CGI, yet James Earl Jones' voice couldn't just be fleshed up a little bit. Did you notice that?
Not really too much. I think they'd have been in more trouble if they hadn't have had him do the voice.
He just sounds a very different man now. That's my only... As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, that's a shame.
He doesn't talk in that scene, does he? He just comes through the door and just destroys everyone. In Rogue One. Oh, he's in other scenes, isn't he?
Yeah. Director Krennic.
The only one
How did I used to do the voice?
Yeah. The only one I really remember is him just laying waste to that ship of rebels.
That's a great scene.
That's the one I'm mainly getting at, is the fact that we get to see him just why everyone is afraid of him. And that's how it should be with the villain.
And it kind of turns New Hope into a 5-hour film.
It does, yeah. Yeah, we're big fans of Rogue One, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, among Vader, it'd be nice if we maybe see some other cameos. I know Saw Gerrera's in there from Rogue One. He was shown in an earlier trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just helps flesh out the world a bit. If you see the odd familiar, I don't want like the whole crew just rocking up randomly. Oh, what a coincidence in a whole galaxy! You suddenly got everyone here.
You wouldn't have been happy unless that had happened in the game.
Of course, yeah, of course. That's how we are when we're young. We just want to be pleased, don't we?
You just want to. Just remember they've got to balance that medium.
Good point.
And a million 12-year-olds going to wrap that game on Christmas morning.
Really? Not according to the difficulty.
I find that Dark Souls style combat not very inclusive for a game that's a very inclusive franchise.
I think they're trying to be a little bit brave here and say, look, we want to try and win back some fans. There's something that's a little bit edgy and cool.
What lost them fans?
Battlefront.
Microtransactions taking the mickey.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
Never ever delivering on the game they promised they'd been going to deliver on for what, 5 years?
Then
this gets made in 12 months. It's not scream like desperation.
No, I have a lot of faith in Respawn. I'm a big fan of their games.
Okay.
There's going to be some exciting new planets and places to visit. From Zepho to Dathomir, is that the correct term for that? And also the Wookiee planet of Kashyyyk. Fans of the Clone Wars series will also know Dathomir as the Rancor planet, so that's definitely going to be one to head to when you're feeling experienced enough. I did read there's a branching path very early on in the game where you can go to Zepho or Dathomir.
Mm-hmm.
Dathomir is like almost like taking the hard route. So if you go there, you're going to have to really up your game, but it's probably going to be one to save for visiting later on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's nice to have that freedom. If you want to take the challenge head on, you can straight away.
Do you think that's almost suggesting you crack that and then from here it feeds into the end of the game? And if you're potentially good enough,
yeah,
you can go straight to the end boss and have a go.
Yeah, we've seen this in quite a few titles, really. I've given you the option of just have a go hero at the start.
Stroll up.
Yeah.
Boss fell backwards on a pebble.
There you go.
Smashed his head on a rock.
Game complete. Trade it.
Ozcat and you, happy.
Very happy. So it's certainly not going to be one for being relatively easy. And
Well, apparently, we'll see. Because I've been playing Dark Souls. And if they rock up with a Star Wars game for the mainstream that's as brutal as that, I can see a lot of copies back on New Year's Eve when kids finally get out from under mummy and daddy's feet and go trade in and then swap it for a copy.
Yeah, there's going to be no auto-save, so you're going to have to be very careful how you approach situations. Have a save the game. So saving the game is done through meditating, like Jedi meditation, and that will save your current progress and your experience.
Like campfires.
Bonfires. Yes, similar to that. So
Wow.
that's another...
Imagine you're 12-year-old Johnny and get this game. You're going to be down CEX looking for... It's going to be trading. This is the game they dare ask for, isn't it? They'll ask for this, and then he can use this as trading barter to get Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
The game they really want.
Right. So it's going to be an experience for everyone, really. Mm-hmm. Speaking of experience, this one's not going to be like Dusting Crops. As Respawn have promised different levels of difficulty, ranging from Jedi Knight to Grandmaster. What do you think to
I find it...
having, like... I think that makes it more accessible. Because Dark Souls, you have no difficulty choice. That's the big difference there, is you can choose to make it.
It depends whether around the mechanics of a Dark Souls game you can have the difficulty and still give someone an experience that they're going to enjoy and remember. Because that, let's face it, Dark Souls style combat is basically referring to broken, janky controls and whether you got the patience to persevere with them or not. They don't want to make this game that, do they? No,
I think another big difference is I don't want to upset Dark Souls fans with the lore and stuff, but I never really played Dark Souls for the stories because I didn't really understand the lore that much, and I just enjoyed the challenge. I think with Star Wars, you've got to have a strong narrative that isn't overshadowed by punishing difficulty, because if you have that, it takes you out of that narrative, and you're like, oh, I just want to get past this bit now because it's so
this
difficult.
Game's coming out in time for the new film. It's got nothing to do with the new film.
No, but obviously it's that relative marketing advertising of they see Star Wars at the cinema.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star
you know
Wars.
How it is.
Come out of the cinema, feel fired up, go back to your bedroom, start winging your Superman sword, your Master of the Universe sword around.
It's like you know my life.
Do you know what? I'm going to ask Mumsy for a copy of this for my birthday or Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
No, that I was role-playing you. I was method.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's me.
Anyway, Tom, someone else has snuck down the chimney.
We need to do the release date for Jedi Fallen Order.
I'm all ears.
It's out on November 15th, 2019 on Windows, PC, Xbox One and PS4.
Is that the release date you're looking for?
Yeah, I'll probably have it wrapped up for my birthday. And it is currently $54.99, I believe, on most online retailers and in the shops.
Is that the release date you're looking for?
Of course.
Okay. The Barber Who Games has snuck down the tree with a bag full of goodies, Tom. A bulging sack. This is what he's got to say for himself. Definitely Death Stranding and Shenmue 3 with a special mention to Romancing Saga 3 Remaster, even if it's technically a game from 1995. Just glad to finally get the chance to play it. So that's the Barbaroo Games, what he's looking forward to. Do you want to take the next person sneaking down the chimney after the mighty Barbaroo Games?
Yeah, My Gaming Space also he says, I've had Death Stranding on pre-order since May, which is rare for me as I never pre-order games. I don't think I've ever looked forward to a game so much since Super Mario 2 for the Game Boy.
Well, I have to say My Gaming Space sounds hyped, Tom.
It does, yeah. So we'll move on to our next title on the Big Winter Preview. Pokemon Sword and Shield on the Nintendo Switch. It's nearly time for a new generation of Pokemon to arrive on Nintendo's home console handheld hybrid. The new title comes from longtime developer of the series Game Freak, with a whole new map to discover called the Galar region, which is said to be heavily influenced by Great Britain, with small villages, stone houses and green sweeping hills aplenty. Well, maybe if you look hard enough, you'll see Farmerton.
Where's Farmerton?
Where we live.
Just in case a new listener had arrived, welcome to the village of Farmerton.
Yeah.
And the abandoned nuclear bunker we live in and transmit from the abandoned BBC recording studio from within said abandoned bunker.
Very good. Everyone's up to date.
Everyone is.
The soundtrack is also meant to have a strong British rock vibe, which is quite cool.
This game sounds quite cool.
Yeah.
What's this out for? Nintendo Game Boy?
Nintendo Switch. So they've upgraded slightly.
Oh.
Your 3 new starters are Score Bunny, the fire starter, Grookey, the grass starter, and Soball, the water type choice. A welcome addition this time is a wild area, which is said to be similar in size to 2 regions of the Zelda Breath of the Wild map, where wild Pokemon roam and can pose a real threat due to some of their high levels.
This is the Pokemon game we possibly always wanted.
I don't think it's quite there yet. I was sat there ready to watch that trailer when they said they were going to show the first footage of Pokemon Switch, thinking this is going to be Breath of the Wild, roaming around, doing what you want. They're all everywhere, and it just looks like a bit of an upgraded handheld one.
I don't think the mechanics of this game would play well if you could just access to any Pokemon you wanted from the get-go and you could see them all. Part of that's the surprise. I think if you take
Yeah, I'm
away
not
that
saying
mechanic,
like
the
seeing
game's
them
broken.
all. I just think they need to get rid of some of these ancient, like, the random attacks in the grass. It's like, well, how about roaming through the grass and they're there, not that stupid, like, exclamation mark, and you go into the... It's all, like, very old hat, and I think it needs the Breath of the Wild treatment of just start doing some new things. They are, which we're going to mention now, which are the Gigantamax size Pokemon, which look great with the crisp new visual style of the creatures, and it can alter the physical appearance for the new and the classic Pokemon that are featured in the game. It blows them up in scale to give them a more epic feel, especially when you're going to be playing on this sort of TV screen now, compared to all the previous games being on handhelds, and hopefully add a new dynamic to the battle. With these new giant Pokemon comes some new attacks called the G-Max attacks, which I've been seeing some footage of that. It looks quite good. But again, I don't want to hate on this game too much because it's one we want to hype up for Switch owners. I was kind of hoping for more with it.
This is going to shift Switches and those
Absolutely.
Switch lights.
Yeah, massively on the Switch lights, I think. And to be fair to Game Freak, it's their first step onto like a console rather than a handheld. So they've got a lot of new development toys to play with, but they're known for moving at like
A snail's pace.
snail's pace for
You have to play it safe.
yeah.
Every console, every version of Pokemon that's come out has played it safe, and it's sold gangbusters.
So they're not going to
If they
change it a
ripped
lot
it out and
today.
changed the formula overnight, which is probably what you or I would like,
Yeah.
they're going to alienate people that like turn-based battles.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's probably why we see the
And
games we see from them.
Is turn-based battling really built, and does it complement handheld gaming?
Yeah, I think it does.
You can be
definitely.
halfway through a turn on Pokemon, get off the bus holding the controller, not have to worry about anything that's going on,
Yeah.
then start walking home and press X, and your move will be executed. That's pretty lenient on a handheld. That's kind of what they're about.
I think the battling is always hopefully going to be turn based, which I quite enjoy. I don't want to be like controlling the character a la Pokemon tournament where you're sort of using them like a beat 'em up. I think the turn based works well, but yeah, I just like to see a little bit more modernisation in it, bring it into.
Would you like to see it where you kind of shout the move at the controller?
No, I don't want gimmicks and stuff.
That's not a gimmick. The controller's got a microphone in it.
Yeah, no, I
Charizard
just like,
Slash.
I don't know.
Charizard Ember. You don't want that.
No, I just think that it's a cool idea.
I was taking away the fact that then you don't have to press X. It might be, if you were, let's just for a moment imagine this is a Pokemon simulator, and you were to simulate a Pokemon match.
Yeah.
You let your Pokemon out of his ball,
Yeah.
and then, like you would a sheepdog or some other animal, you bark instructions at it. So why do you look so aghast at the idea that you might say, Pikachu, electric?
Yeah, no, great idea. I just don't know whether it'd catch on, as you see sometimes with alternative control. They don't always
Well,
like
when
voice
you say,
command. Like, okay,
think about this for a moment. Who would have thought a geek would get into the idea of walking around and doing very embarrassing things in public with their phone?
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Do you use voice command on PS4?
For some stuff.
Yeah, I've just never used it. I think
there aren't any games that I've got that utilise voice control, but I use it in the dash.
Yeah, I just think it'd probably come down to personal taste as to whether you want to sort of command them.
Or you could hit the button.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of saying out loud words.
Yeah, could be done.
That's why I think it's always got to be turn-based.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Little bit of info for Pokemon Sword and Shield. The file size was recently revealed at 10.3 gigabyte, which is sadly going to take up a good chunk of those Switch internal memories, which are 32 gigabytes.
Wow, you've got to buy like a new console every time you get a new Pokemon game.
You can get SD cards now, obviously, which I've got one in mine. Sadly, Overwatch has now taken up most of the internal memory, and
so you've got to get a new Switch for Pokemon and Overwatch.
I think this could be a bit of a problem for them further down the line, especially with the younger audience who can't go out and afford to buy a 100 gigabyte SD card. You're going to be like playing one game, delete it, play another.
Does it delete your save or just the install?
You can basically, the way I do it, it deletes the software, but it stays in your menu, similar to the PS4, so you can access it and then re-download it again if you wish.
Ah, okay. Did you tell us when the game was coming out?
No, it's also coming out on November 15th, 2019, same day as Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, okay. Well, new listener, Tom, Dan Willyman. He says he's looking forward to Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot.
Yeah.
Happy about that?
Yeah, most of those out
from the Willyman.
Yeah, most of those out like early 2020, really.
Maybe he's going to ask for money for Christmas and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And put that to one side and get these with his Christmas money. Maybe he's
a man of patience.
A man of patience, good looks, and intelligence. Danny Williman is almost the perfect man.
So they say. Down the wagon and horses.
He wouldn't make a dodgy co-host that wants to, I don't know, use his microphone like a punch bag. I don't know what he's very violent today. That rant at the top of the show, punched your mic. What else? You're not going to throw something at Mumsy, are you? Bottle of pledge?
Yeah.
She's only got sight in one eye because of the pledge incident, pledge gate from 4 years ago.
Gate. Yeah. Well,
you think she's looking at you, but it's just a glass eye.
We must move on. Finster Game has been in touch.
What's he got to say?
Gonna be honest, there's not really anything coming out until next year that I'm particularly interested in. I'll probably just be dabbling in some retro games, older games that I haven't got round to playing yet for the next few months.
Sounds like me, although I just keep picking up the games and putting them on the pile.
It's not always a bad thing, is it, to not have lots of heavy hitters for the end of the year, because it gives us a chance to catch up on some great titles. Because overall, I think 2019's been pretty good, but not great.
It doesn't hurt.
There's a lot of good games to play.
It doesn't hurt to have a couple of at least 2 generations ago in your mix, and then your rainy day pass. So exciting! I've got Assassin's Creed Black Flag in that pile of rainy day.
You know me though, I find it very difficult to go back to old games because I'm just like,
yeah, but I've never played that game.
Yeah, even ones I've not played. Like I look on the PlayStation sales, and I'm like, God, that's really cheap for that. I'm not going to get it. Not interested.
I'm interested in Black Flag.
Oh, actually, yeah, you should be because you're the big fan of the
history and nautical.
The nautical adventure games.
So we've done Finster Game. Oh, it's my turn. Stand back. Okay, so third and final.
Excuse me.
Wow. Tom hunting for food round the back of the bunker disturbed some dust. Had him sneezing all over the place. Last time that dust was shed from a human, they were born in the 1800s.
Really?
Yeah, true story.
Maybe get the plague.
Or worse. So, Tom, third and final game, Outer Worlds, releasing this October, developed by Obsidian, famous for a favourite of mine, Alpha Protocol, but probably slightly more famous for Fallout 76 and KOTOR 2, and I think they made the original Fallout games in their infancy. This game was started before their acquisition by Microsoft, but it's still releasing multi-format, and as we heard in the news, fully featured wherever you play it.
Yeah.
Now, prior to E3 2019, Outer Worlds' first trailer did a good job of setting the tone and style of the game. It sets up the basic premise of the story, which takes place in Halcyon, the furthest colony in the galaxy owned by corporations. We play as a customisable character who's lost in transit on a colonist ship. You await decades later than you expected to find yourself in the midst of a deep conspiracy threatening to destroy the colony. Very interesting. You'll also encounter different factions around deep space who are vying for power. One of the most exciting aspects of Obsidian's upcoming RPG is the companions you'll be able to recruit during your deep space adventures. Of course, you can kill them, but you know what they say, it's dangerous to go alone. Every companion has their own unique ability to help you in combat, and you can customise and kit them out however you want. Each of these companions is also said to have their own companion missions, and can leave your side if you don't like what you're doing, not unlike Mass Effect or Dragon Age. I don't think you'll be able to sleep with these individuals, though, Tom.
Shame.
Strike it off the Christmas list. Even though The Outer Worlds has been referred to as a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas, don't expect it to feature full open worlds. I was misled by this, Tom. I was thinking it was like a No Man's Sky, slightly smaller with a solid story. Instead, Obsidian stated in an interview with RPG site it would be made up of a series of large explorable zones across the solar system, something that you may have experienced with the likes of the Borderlands games.
It sounds similar to Mass Effect as well, in that you go to these areas.
Yeah, back in the day when we didn't know better, we thought we were experiencing the universe, and then when you actually got your hands on the game, there were about 8 planets to rock and roll on, and the moon.
I don't always think there's anything too wrong with linear titles, as long as the story's strong enough.
Some of the best games I've played are linear. Uncharted 2.
Yep. Yeah. I like the idea of the companions there. That's good to see.
Nice way of mixing up
I just want to get your thoughts on customable characters. Are you for or against them? Do you prefer to play as like a protagonist who is...
I just go with the standard default guy normally. So
I did that with Shepard on Mass Effect. I can't imagine ever liking a character I create as much as I like Arthur Morgan, Nathan Drake, Link. It's just not. I've never been into that. I've never been. I don't
want to invest in a really deep story game and then maybe 2/3 of the way into the story and it's getting really good and I'm hooked on the politically.
Yeah.
Regret my pink mohawk glitching through the head of another character while I give this really heart-rousing speech.
Yeah, I even to the point where if I'm watching clips of an old game. So you tend to play old games. I'll go back and look at videos of them because I don't have a lot of old consoles. But
a voyeur.
Yeah. One that springs to mind is with the Mass Effect thing. Watching like a good cutscene from Mass Effect, and then it cuts to the character, and you're like, "That's not my Shepard. Get it off. Get it off now."
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a fan of.
Well, this is what they have to say on the on it. They wanted to explore a focused single-player story while leaving options open to explore the different environments, explained senior narrative designer Megan Starks. Once you get your ship, you'll have lots of questions to explore specific locations, with more opening as you finish quests or purchase new passes in-game. What do you think about that game? You hype for it, Tom? It's on my watch list at the moment. I have had experience with Obsidian. I got very excited for Alpha Protocol, and it got destroyed. I mean, I did get the chance many years later to play it, and enjoyed it for the jank and some of the story elements.
Yeah.
I look back now, I can't believe I played through that. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did.
Well, it's the earliest one out, isn't it? Coming out next week, out of our winter preview. So, do you think that'll get the? Are you going to be purchasing?
It's been locked down. This game, Legal have been on. This game has been completely locked down. So just be careful. Can't say too much. This is as much as we can say.
Oh right.
Embargoed.
Is it? Never a great sign, is it?
No. I thought I'd lob that out there so the listeners can understand that this game is in lockdown.
Yeah.
We only know what we know from what we've seen.
The trailers make it look good.
Oh, they do, but something's a little bit like the feeling I get with Jedi Fallen Order. Something's not quite right. I think that might be a theme with
I think that might be
picked.
Yeah, I think so.
Just mainly there, but not quite the full featured ticket. I think that I know you're excited. Like Pokemon Sword and Shield seems like the most bankable product of the.
There's a lot of safe games this fall, isn't there? This winter lineup is playing it safe.
It's not one that will be remembered unless Death Stranding knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, well, who knows? Next up, we've got the McBain strainer himself.
Yeah, Tom, now just lie yourself on the floor and crank your head back so Doogie doesn't have to put too much effort into slapping you in the McBain restrainer.
Okay.
Don't walk and type. Over the weekend, I was responding in a humorous way to Doogie about the McBain restrainer. And I called it the McCain restrainer.
I saw that.
And he wondered if that was a way of stopping larger people getting access to their chips when they shouldn't.
Viable option.
It's not very inclusive.
No.
Everyone's allowed chips as a treat. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
What's the Ayatollah of rock and roll, a higher top the third turnbuckle got to say for himself, Tom?
As an old school Sega fanboy, the two games I'm most looking forward to have to be Shenmue 3, sequel to my all-time favourite games, and also Panzer Dragoon remake on the Switch. Would love for that game to sell well and hopefully one day get a Panzer Dragoon Saga remake. That game deserves more love.
It's not going to sell that well though, is it? Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah. Shenmue 3. I don't know where I'll get that. And that's crazy because I have Shenmue 1.
As I've said to you a million times before and to the listeners on this show, if all the people that are hyped for Shenmue 3 had bought the original, Sega would still be about. Oh, iconic game, love it. Did you ever play it in 1999, 2000? No. Have you ever played it? No. I've got the remaster on PS4. Oh, well done. I think Shenmue 3 is going to leave a lot of people like gasping for air, especially if it picks up right where 2 left off.
I need to recap the story as well. I've got a rough
YouTube,
idea.
Watch a massive walk through.
Yeah.
Drink a couple of cans of cherry ale.
Yeah. Are you gonna be picking up Shenmue 3?
For sure. But
to play it straight away, as in like launch day hype.
There's a lot of games out in November.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
If you asked us, Shenmue 3 is going to be, in my eyes, it should be at the top. I think it's going to be to the bottom, to the middle, and it's going to get lost.
Absolutely,
it's going to get lost in the crush.
I think if you told us before we knew Shenmue 3 was even coming and said you're going to be able to play that in November 2019, we'll be like, we'll be there day one. We'll be getting it at launch.
I'll be there day one, and I missed out on getting the collector's edition because it wasn't much more money, but they'd also.
Oh right.
Yeah, you get a little shadow box with it. And some
yes,
other stuff.
yeah.
When I got the Yakuza one, it came up, and I thought, I'll get that.
Yeah.
And it was like sold out. Why are you showing me this if it's sold out? Tom.
Often the case.
I've got one word for you.
What's that?
2. Bonus game. We said 3. There's actually 4. As always, the Unofficial Controller podcast, Tom, delivering surprises in abundance.
So, what is that 4th game?
Death Stranding. Release date, November 8th, 2019. First game by the, jaded by Tom, Kojima Productions. Publisher is Sony Interactive Entertainment, and that means it's coming to PS4. Also available on 486 gaming PCs, Tom. Death Stranding is the debut game from Kojima Productions, a new studio staffed by key members of the former Metal Gear Solid development team. It stars The Walking Dead's Normus Reedus, former Bond villain Mads Mikkelsen, and Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro. The genre is stealth, stroke action, with Kojima telling Japanese gaming production publication Famitsu in May 2016, while not to say that it's open world, users who enjoy today's AAA games, The Division and Uncharted, etc., will be able to easily enjoy it. When it is announced, you might think, that's not outstanding, but you'll understand when you see it and play it. Hideo Kojima has gone further, describing the core concept to IGN in June 2016 as sticks and ropes, where sticks represent traditional video game interactions, e.g. punching and shooting, while ropes are about connections between players. Speaking at the Tokyo Game Show in September 2016, he hinted that Death Stranding would be an open-world game with online elements and something from another world. This is where things start to become a little less clear, Tom. Yeah. Anyway, the plan involves Sam, Norman Reedus, who works for Corpse Disposal Team 6 as part of Bridges and the United Cities of America. Sam and his crew are retrieving dead bodies in a presumably near future world where animal life appears extinct and the environment is in ruin. If you see the oily beach from the first trailer, things get weirder when Reedus and his team are stalked by invisible foes who leave a trail of oily handprints and seem to detect people using sound. These enemies might be linked to the 5 spectral figures that Reedus glimpses at the end of the first Death Stranding trailer. The baby, there's a lot of speculation about the role of the baby, from suggestions it's Sam's child or a metaphor for his real-life baby, and or a form of transference device, allowing its holder to travel across parallel universes or altering the perception of time. Further theories get really wild, but it seems plausible Death Stranding will be concerned with time travel, parallel realities, and relativity. So it basically seems to be a time-travelling postal worker simulator with childcare issues. What's your thoughts on the time-travelling postal worker simulator with childcare issues?
Amazon Dispatch Man.
Are you looking forward to that game?
I was. That second trailer where it seemed to show a lot of like action and he was riding the bike and I was like, this is looking great. And then it's just lost me a little bit as to... part of me can see that game getting like 7s out of 10.
Oh, I think it definitely will get 7s. So did Walking Dead. And quote a great man, 7 out of 10 is not a bad game. Do you remember him?
Days Gone?
Yeah. All hyped, got his little code, did his little preview of Days Gone.
Yeah.
Chucked it out, they thought it was amazing. Next week he backs up, it's 7. Next week he reverses even further, it's 6. And the week later it's 10 out of 10 classic. I mean, come on. Up and down like a C-State 9.
At least I wasn't sitting on the fence that week.
Not at all.
On and off like a jumping jack. Yeah, I want this to be
like
good.
Barbara the Barmaid's undergarments.
Really?
Locking at the wagon and horses.
Yeah, this is...
She had the trots.
Really?
That's not what you were thinking.
Okay.
All that.
Right.
Definitely not that.
I want this to be really good.
It's the first game that he's made that, you know, I can get on board with day one and it's not too obtrusive with its stealthiness, hopefully, and we can get on board for the 4-hour cutscenes and the walk for 5 minutes and another 5-hour cutscene. Maybe it's time we all got on board day one with one of these crazy-ass stories.
Yeah.
It's
Do you think he is just
game.
doing like a proper making it up as he goes along? Because he's come out and said, hasn't he, like, it may take 2 or 3 games for everyone to fully understand it and the story. And I'm like,
Maybe it will. Maybe the end of this first one, you'll be like, what the... And you'll play 2 and it's really amazing. You'll forget about 1 because it was on that console you don't play anymore.
Yeah.
You'll watch a walkthrough and be like, oh, I remember the babies in the oil handprints. Yeah, that makes sense now.
We can but hope.
We can but hope, Tom. We can but hope. I've got hope. I think it's going to be... It's going to polarise people. Some people are going to say it's the best game they've ever played and other people are going to absolutely just destroy it. I don't know where I sit. Probably firmly in the middle. I'm already thinking it's probably deserved of a 7 out of 10. Is it a love leave all there?
We will let you know.
We will let you know. Sending us to the bridge of Retro Gamer Thomas. My main 3 I'm excited for would have to be Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, and I'm intrigued by the Outer Worlds. Well, fan of the show, you got all your dreams answered. That looks very interesting. I'm excited for Death Stranding basically because it looks like something completely different. I think that's quite a hard thing to do in the world of gaming these days. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's very hard to start a new IP. Imagine if for the last 20 years you've been working on a franchise and I got ripped away from you. It was like, make us a new game then, hero. You think good with games?
Yeah.
Make us a new one. I want a good plot. All right, Sony, calm down. Let me get my crayons. Last of Us 2 looks as it will be awesome and probably will be as it's Naughty Dog, and let's be honest, they don't really make a bad game nowadays. I'm glad you put that in there. And finally, The Outer Worlds, which again looks something a little different that I can see myself putting quite a few hours in. Yeah, me too, Retro Gamer Thomas.
Yeah.
We've slid into Tom's favourite section of the show. It's called Listener's Stingray. When the big man makes a house call, you'd better be ready. These guys got in touch to show us their pickups from Stingray's boot. You can too. Just hashtag Stingrays Boot on Instagram or Twitter, or email us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. Tom, are you there? Are you looking in the boot? Are you angry and ready? Are your hands covered in so much retro tat that you literally can't believe it?
Let's get this over with because there's some new rules in town for Stingray's boot.
Oh, look out. The sheriff's in town. He's sick on power. He's polished his berry badge. He's going to give us a lesson on Listener's Stingray.
6 shooters loaded. Right, so we get a lot of Stingray's boots.
Thank you, listeners.
We do appreciate them, yes. But we are only going to read out single posts. So if you've been multiple times in the boot...
They can put what they want in, though, still.
Yeah, you can put what you want in.
This isn't just for us. Other people look at this in their personal time. So we read out the highlights. How's that?
Yeah, we read out the highlights of the boot.
You're in the role of Lord Ponsonbury.
Yeah.
And I'm in the role of the listener. I care for this.
Okay.
Who's up first? Mark Twigo, loyal listener. If you're looking for him on Instagram, Mark_Twigo. What's he found?
Some
Borderlands
nice
3,
Mega Drive games.
Tailspin, Aladdin, Mutant League, and Lemmings.
Nice.
And a Mega Master controller. Nice work, Mark.
Dougie McBain. He's got his received his community chest.
Oh, I hope he ain't got another picture.
No.
That's you won't be reading it out,
yeah. No.
What if he'd put another one in and this had been in there?
He's a
With great power, Tom. That's your new name, Tom. Comes great responsibility.
It does. So he's showing off his community chest, which was the monthly comments prize for the show this month.
What did they get? What's in the picture?
He's got some Classic Edge magazines, a couple of N64 games, Dead Space 3 on the PS3.
Nice.
Ratchet and Clank on the PS2. Tarzan for young Game Boy Matty DVD. X-Files for himself.
Nice.
And various
full
other
season
things.
of X-Files Season 1.
Yeah.
In time for Halloween, Tom. Someone was thinking.
They
and
were.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer also on PlayStation 2.
Keeping that Halloween theme going.
All the way to the back.
Well, speaking of Halloween, Harvey Retro.
The man with the greatest hair in retro gaming holds aloft a copy of Resident Evil Code Veronica with its PAL. Well, unfortunately, like any PAL case, it's took a hit on the spine, it's took a hit to the front. Looks like it's crawled out the final level of Resident Evil Code Veronica itself.
It does.
Doesn't mean that the inside isn't awesome. What a great little game. I remember getting that on launch. Have an absolute belting time with it. Great game.
Sharaban. With his Panzer Dragoon selection.
He's got Saturn games, Japanese. He's got Panzer Dragoon Saga on the Saturn, which is hard to find. Well done, but you don't seem to have the PAL boxes. Sharaban for your normal Panzer Dragoons. Yeah. Disappointed. Some would say you've let yourself down. You've also let yourself down, Sharaban. Where's your Street Racer collection?
Well,
what's it got to come to? Retro Magnat got a copy of Steel Rats.
What is this?
It's a downloadable title that got a hard copy release in Japan from memory. but I'm not exactly sure. STS Phono Co. Tom, there with their Jet Set Radio vinyl.
Oh, nice.
Looks like
Is that part of the Sega Data Discs collection?
Might be. It's got an Autophon red needle, so it's pretty good.
Saturday Morning Pickups has got...
Saturday Morning Gamer?
Yes, has been on a Saturday Morning Pickup.
He has.
Got himself a GoldenEye N64 cartridge, Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Game Boy Advance, got himself a few DS games, an NHL Power Play on the PlayStation. Very nice.
Look out, Tom. My gaming space is flexing up. Who's the unofficial? Now, I won't forget, I promise. Now, he's remembered talking about ripping apart Stingray's listener's Stingray, but you forgot that you were going to award one of the listener's Stingrays the unofficial Stingray's listener's Stingray belt to be fought for on a weekly basis.
So we've got to pick...
By the end, you've got to pick yourself. This isn't for a prize. This is just like the hardcore belt. It's for the reputation.
The rep.
Do you remember saying that last week?
Yes, I do.
Good. You want this, don't you? Take it. Strike me down and join your father in the dark side of the force.
Well, my game in space stands a pretty good chance with Bart Simpson Escape from Camp Deadly. Yeah. I had that.
Pretty cool.
Pretty
cool looking artwork as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Otaka Brum, I don't know. He's just put a fluorescent light tube through the head of my gaming space with his copy of Tenchu, Front Mission, Bomberman and Ape Escape on the PSP.
You're a big fan of the PSP.
Oh my goodness. Retro Magnet just picked up the guy.
He's been on.
Has he?
Yep.
Starcom. Otaka Brom, he doesn't get to come back.
Why does the Starcom have the Triforce on the wing of it?
What came first?
Don't even go there.
Otaka Brom, you can't mention his name, you said it before.
Even though he's got a Blockbuster Games PlayStation.
No, stop. Yeah, You're breaking your own rules.
I am. Radbash Gaming.
He's just come down on a quad bike, jumped off and slapped someone in an RKO, Tom, but what's he brought with him?
He's brought the Simpsons movie, Men in Black, various other videos, DVDs. He's got himself a Texas Chainsaw Massacre plushie.
He's got himself
ready for Halloween.
Leonardo Turtle piggy bank, which looks really cool.
Yeah, very bizarre.
I've just had a swag of Lucasade to help me through.
Here we got him next. Ozcat's here with Mighty Number 9 on the Wii U.
What wrestling special move is he coming with to you? What level of special move is that, Mighty 99?
He's coming with barbed wire chair shot to the head.
That's pretty devastating. Has he cleared the ring?
He has, yeah. Just cleared the ring.
Has my game in space
He needs to make room for all his Switch collections, so he's just come in and...
Has my game in space been on?
I'm on Ozcat.
I know, but I've gone past him now.
Okay. My game in space has been on, yeah.
So's Harvey Retro, but that face and that game cover, Tom, how can you let that go?
Radbash Gaming, been on.
Unbelievable.
Stuck in the Past Lane, the guy who does old Polaroids.
Have you ever seen him before in the booth?
No.
What's his special move then at this rate? This is high quality stuff.
Well, he's a fan of the retro, like the old way of doing things, so he'd probably go with just a classic DDT on the outside of the ring.
Is he going to, while he's got their head down in a tight headlock, does he use his foot to kick back the matting on the floor?
Yes.
To unveil the concrete floor?
He's a man of class and taste. But he gets the job done.
He's not a performer. That could kill him.
So Stuck in the Past Lane has picked up Pitfall on the Mega Drive.
Tom.
It looks in good nick as
Lost
well.
on you as always. What's the tagline on his Polaroid?
Old Harry rocks.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Tucker Brum, you've banned him from the boot. This will be the last ever listener's Stingray.
Good. Bite My Pixel.
What are you going to do instead of this?
I'll come up with something.
Oh, we can't wait. Love Leaf or Lair. That lasts a week. Then you forgot what it was called.
Oh.
What's Bite My Pixel got?
Nintendo GameCube game Ace Golf, brand new. £25. £25,000.
I tell you what, it's a good job you don't list things for sale on eBay,
I know,
Tom.
yeah.
I tell you what, I'm going to have win. Spooky Customs, pretty new name to the boot, Tom. But that for the Dreamcast pickup alone, they rule all of gaming.
He's had some serious console pickup. He's got a GameCube, a Wii, an N64. The way he's presented the photos as well is very nice.
Spooky Customs.
He has just come in with
Can
a
I?
flaming... You go.
I wondered if he's done the wrestling equivalent of blowing up Vince McMahon's limo there.
No, I was thinking more like coming down to the ring, returning to stake his claim to be the ultimate champ, and just cleared everyone.
Oh, right. He's
Referee included.
Retro Visions. He's got himself a copy of Tetris there, in Russian as well. Mark.garage.gamers. Is he allowed to have his moment in the sun, Lord?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Is he allowed?
He is.
Do you want to read out what he's got? Or do I have to do that?
Touring cars, Formula One.
Maybe next
both
week
on
we
the
could just have,
PlayStation.
like, you sit there for 25 minutes while I tell you how good you are. How your hair looks. You've put blonde highlights in the front of it this week. How do you think I don't notice?
I'm trying to go for the Egon Spengler cartoon look. So
You're slowly going to dye it blonde,
yeah.
a little bit Michael Jackson going white. It's going to take us about 50 years, but we'll get there, son. We'll get there.
Yes, that's correct.
Bless Michael, Sir Michael. Say sorry, Sir Michael.
Sorry, Sir Michael. Rad Bash Gaming, even though you've been on, you picked up Stand By Me, which is a great film.
Breaks his own rules.
I make 'em, I break 'em.
That's what power does to a man. It corrupts absolutely, doesn't it? Look at him.
The big man's here, Daddy Zilla. Now I see he's been playing this, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I did have this. It's quite a good beat 'em up, that.
Here comes the hornswoggle of the show, Tom. Game Boy Matty slid under the bottom rope. He's kicked Daddy Zilla in the shins and he slapped us up with a Scooby-Doo theme photo, Scooby-Doo First Frights on the Wii, and a selection of Scooby-Doo action figures. He knows how to... If I tell you what, as a 2-year-old, he can arrange and compose a great photo, can't he?
He can.
I don't know what I was doing it to. I was probably making pictures out of my own feces.
Retro Video Game World has picked up Psychonauts on the PS4.
Oh.
Very good.
Retro Magnet, his
Nope,
only gaming
he's been
entry
in,
of the
he's been
week,
in,
but
he's
you're
been
going to move him on.
Game
And
Boy
again.
Matty, he's
Been in. No,
Yeah,
you got to be brutal. Look
yeah.
at you, killer of children. Unbelievable. Undertaker throat chop at poor old Game Boy Matty. Desperate to show share.
Next up, Iowa Retro Gamer. He's got himself... Are we back to the start? I think
You
we've
covered that
been
last
there.
week. The man who hates Stingray's boot so much he reads everything out twice. Tom, that's all the dips in the boot for the listeners this week. Don't forget, look at you. I don't want to leave the boot now a minute.
This is true.
That's all the dips in the boot for our listeners. Don't forget to hashtag Stingray's boot or email us for your pickups to be read out. Tom, it's been brought to my attention that last week's episode, Stingray made an even quieter entry than normal because there was no sound effect.
Was there not?
I blame you.
Disappointing.
You distracted James with
I
a bag
did.
of sweets.
Well, he's not allowed out trick-or-treating because he's working on next week's script, so we've got to treat him all right, haven't we?
I see. Is that the reason?
Yeah, so always thinking ahead.
Well, I haven't got a problem going out because Sensei Rios patrols the streets on Halloween.
Does
Me
he?
and children can
Just in
enjoy.
case Michael Myers makes an appearance and he has to send him to the dark place.
He can knock out Michael Myers with the sweat flicked off his forehead.
Can he?
Yes.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
So the big man's coming up the drive.
Why have you done that? Because it was your turn.
Because it's a long drive and now you can do the spiel.
No, we do the spiel. Then we do... No, first we do the story about his life. What's he been doing this week? Is it your turn or mine?
He's been
This
running
better be
some
good.
reconnaissance for the Inglorious Bastards.
Ooh.
He was dropped at night not by Daddy Zilla because he doesn't like the plane like Mr. T. He doesn't like to fly.
Right. So
Major Tom stepped up because he's got his pilot license.
Right.
Only for like those small training planes, so it's rather cramped. Stingray wasn't happy about that.
We can confirm, though, that even though you mentioned Daddy Zilla, he was nowhere to be seen because he doesn't like flying.
He was asked if he wanted to fly the plane, but he said no way.
Just for the listeners, who else wasn't there?
All of them. All of them. Yeah. They were all offered a job, and it took Major Tom to step up and fly the plane.
I love it. These stories are the best parts of the show.
Yeah. This is where the
what he got
listenership
dropped
goes
in?
down.
Look, they finished at the end of listener Stingray.
So because we've got a worldwide listener base, he dropped in to try and improve the sort of standing of the show in some of the lesser known
this
regions
is a good
of the world.
idea. I can feel a feature growing, Tom. Maybe I could be talked into saying goodbye to listener Stingray if we could do like where in the world has Stingray been, and the listeners give us. They're not going to want to let the boot go because everyone likes to have their pickups read out on air. Maybe one day, Tom, we'll get to the point where someone has to send us clues and we have to guess where Stingray is. Maybe we take it in turns.
That's cool. I like that idea.
Because we're a worldwide show.
Yeah.
He could be anywhere.
We have fans everywhere.
So anyway, Tom.
So he went off and did some promotional work for us.
Nice.
And a bit of recon, find out which markets are growing. Where
Malaysia.
podcasts are taking off.
Thailand.
Not Hong Kong so much at the minute.
I'm going to leave that in because it's your time to skirt with danger and the legal teams of the Chinese government. You know?
Yeah.
Take them on. Feeling big.
I got Sensei Race back in me.
Look at you. Please edit that out. No, I'm not. I'm leaving it in. Have the strength of your convictions. The same strength of conviction that he gave. What was that motorbike game that you really liked where you killed zombies? Days Gone.
You called it Walking Dead earlier. And anyway, you haven't even mentioned the fact of what I've worn tonight.
Bonus game. Tom's wearing a Mario t-shirt, which he's wearing underneath. What, are you trying to show me the bottom, some more of it?
No. I was just hoping you would take time to appreciate I've actually put the Mario onesie. It's more a t-shirt, but it's on.
What about the crotch area? Is it clean, or is this a couple of weeks unwashed?
Crusty.
Crusty.
Been sat playing Overwatch in it a lot, so, you know. What can you say?
Well, we know that releases some bodily fluids from Tom. I guess he's here. No. Is he here? He's just ripped up the drive. Look at that. Tom, is it me, or is there some rust developing on the front wing area of that Stingray, of that Bluebird?
Yeah.
He needs to get that sorted. Brian's garage needs to...
Brian's bodywork, which is like his spin-off just to avoid tax payments.
Oh, I see. Is that the side of the company starting his daughter's name?
Yes. Yeah.
Brianna. Yeah.
Brianne of Farmerton.
Brianna Farmerton. Anyway, it's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battle for Endor this week. These are the new release highlights for the week October 14th to October 20th, 2019. Listeners, these are out on digital or physical, or will be by the time this podcast is in your feed, but could be region dependent. A small stumble as I ran for the bushes as fire opened on me, Tom. But I think I got away with a bullet in the bum. That's survivable. I know that because I've seen a couple of war films.
Survive every week in that readout, don't you? Just.
No.
I think there has been a few fatalities.
I think if the listeners went back to some of the earlier shows, they would be wondering why some of them were 4 hours long, and that's because I attempted to reread the intro that many times, and we didn't have James the work experience board to edit the show.
Yeah.
So it was a car crash. Worth listening to, though.
They're almost like live episodes, aren't they? Because they're just done in one take.
Back when we had, I don't know, Mumsy and Lord Ponsonbury listening, so it probably didn't matter.
No.
Maybe they could go back and find Easter eggs to berate us with now.
They could, I'd like
Do you remember saying this about Days Gone?
Yes.
We do,
yes,
thankfully.
First up, Children of More...
Wait.
What's up?
Do you not want to go through... Because no doubt you're going to pick the game I really want to talk about.
No, I've picked mine. I've already got it, so...
Okay. Lead on, friend.
Children of Mortar. PS4 and Xbox. Available October 15th. Become a member of the Bergson family as you hack and slash your way through endless hordes of enemies in this procedurally generated, narrative-driven roguelike either alone or cooperatively. Experience not only what it means to be a hero, but to be part of a family.
Question, Tom. You're a new listener. What's a mummy?
So Mummy is the game we really want this week and that we will get out of the Stingray's boot.
Why is it called a mummy?
I don't know. That's kind of what we used to say, isn't it? As kids, like, Mummy, please can I have this?
That's the reason.
There you go.
What have I picked? Well, by default, Tom, I've managed to find a retail copy of DayZ, October 15th. DayZ is an unforgiving, authentic open world sandbox online game where each one of 60 players on a server follows a single goal: to survive as long as you can by all means necessary. There are no superficial tips, waypoints, built-in tutorials, or help given to you. Every decision matters with no save games, no extra lives. Every mistake can be lethal. If you fail, you lose everything and start over. Scavenging for supplies and roaming the open world never feels safe in DayZ, as you never know what's behind the next corner. Hostile player interactions or simply just struggling through severe weather can easily turn into an intense, nerve-wracking moment where you experience every real emotion. On the other hand, meeting with another friendly survivor in DayZ can lead to a friendship that lasts a lifetime.
A lot of these zombie survival games, isn't there?
This next game, Tom, is worth...
It's getting big scores.
I was going to say, this might be my mummy. I did some independent research on this, and I'm actually intrigued by this game. It's like a point-and-click adventure, though. I think some people might get tricked into thinking it's something a bit more than that, but I don't know.
Disco Elysium is a groundbreaking open-world role-playing game. It's available on the PC October 15. You're a detective with a unique skill system at your disposal and a whole city block to carve your path across. Interrogate unforgettable characters, crack murders or take bribes, become a hero or an absolute disaster of a human being.
Okay. Here's...
I thought you'd be going for this.
I keep threatening to download it, but I've never got round to it.
No, we need to be very clear here, don't we? Because this is getting confused with Outer Worlds.
I did wonder why they decided to pick a game that, let's face it, has got a very similar name and coming out within weeks of each other.
Clever marketing.
Which one's the pony and which one's the thoroughbred?
We'll let the fans
Which
decide.
one's the nag destined for the glue factory and which one have you just bought, Tom? Being a horse expert, I should think you've brought the one in with the bandy legs and dodgy looking teeth.
Absolutely.
It's the glue pot.
Outer Wilds PS4, October 15th.
No, I'm reading this out.
I just called it Outer Worlds, I think, as well.
Outer Wilds, stick with me, you won't go far wrong. Outer Wilds on the PS4, October 15th. This is the game you want. Welcome to the space program. You're the newest recruit of Outer Wilds Ventures, a fledgling space program searching for answers in a strange, constantly evolving solar system. Mysteries of the solar system, what lurks in the heart of the ominous dark bramble? Who built the alien ruins on the moon? Can the endless time loop be stopped? Answers await you in the most dangerous reaches of space. That's my mummy, is it? What you got there, Tom?
I've got Overwatch Legendary Edition on the Switch, which is my choice this week. Obviously, I've bought this. You've got some unkind things to say about it, and so did I.
What's it written?
Tom's words are false. This game is a 2D version of an average game at best. That average game won Game of the Year in 2016.
It would be... it would probably be more widely received by me if it wasn't one of three colours of your gaming palette that you paint with on this show.
You've lost me.
You have three colours on your palette that you paint with on this show. Overwatch, Red Dead Redemption,
Phalo Blue,
and Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth.
Okay.
They're the only three games you refer to, ever.
Okay.
Maybe a combination of those colours, like maybe a little bit of Red Dead Redemption, maybe a little bit of Lord of the Rings. You might talk about Lord of the Rings 2 Towers on PS2. No.
So if I'm mixing the colours a little bit.
Yeah.
Mixing the colours a little bit. Next up, we've got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, which is out on the Switch as of now.
Oh. Have you downloaded this?
No, because it's the same problem as Overwatch. If you haven't got any other console than the Switch, I highly recommend you go and get The Witcher 3 if you're into those sorts of action
Wouldn't they be
adventure
better off,
RPGs.
Wouldn't they be better off if... do Switch owners want to play Wild Hunt 3?
Absolutely, yeah. I think
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Do they really?
I think there's a lot of people who want to play that on the Switch. I think it will sell okay. Let's talk about it a little bit. Winner of over 250 Game of the Year awards, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a story-driven open-world adventure set in a dark fantasy universe where you play as Geralt of Rivia, mercenary monster slayer. The complete edition contains every piece of downloadable content released for the game, including 2 massive story expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. It's the perfect opportunity to enter this world for the first time or relive the adventure on the go. I think
I've heard that DLC is really good.
It has had a, obviously, graphical downgrade to get it running on the Switch, but it's nice if you ain't got any other way of playing it.
That might be one of the most Nintendo-friendly things you've ever said. A slight visual downgrade to get it onto the Switch. To me, it looks like they've taken a good-looking Xbox One X game, PS4 game, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I think the game looks quite nice. I've never played it, but it certainly ticks most of my boxes, so maybe I should play it. But when I've seen it running on the Switch, and I don't have a particular champion here, but on the Switch it looks like a Dreamcast game. Like, wouldn't they be better off just getting a cheap Xbox One and playing it on there?
I don't know. People buy Nintendo machines for Nintendo games. It's a bonus if you get stuff like that.
I just wonder if does this game translate well to a mobile handheld experience? This is what the quests aren't exactly.
Oh yeah,
you get on the bus, you do a quest, you get off. That's sorted. It's automatically saved.
No, not at all. I think it belongs on a big screen.
So as a bit of gaming advice to the people that listen in, they hang on your every word, Tom. Buy this or shun it.
I wouldn't say shun it because otherwise other stuff's not going to come to the console.
But are we going to see everything coming from now on in, especially with the advancement of the consoles coming in the new generation? Is it all going to be just so downgraded?
They are going to have to...
Are we back to Modern Warfare on the Switch again, Tom? I know you wanted to say it was a really good game, but even
on the Wii,
you couldn't even do that.
No, I think they're really going to have to bring out an upgraded Switch next year because they just won't be able to compete.
Do they feel they need to, though? Maybe they feel...
They probably won't. They've got their own little niche, haven't they? They maybe don't need to.
Maybe they think they've got enough bigger boy games in the library now to kind of justify that. They've got Skyrim, check.
Yeah, but that's only going to last so long, isn't it?
I've got that on a calculator.
Yeah.
So it had to come to the Switch.
Yeah, a bit interesting year for them to see what they do to combat the big releases next year. They're going to need some heavy hitters, aren't they?
This is what I'm thinking. They've done this before. They've come out of the gates hard, and then it's all drifted off, and even they forgot they've got a console out.
I don't think that'll happen, but
this has been successful enough for that not to happen.
Oh, yeah, already.
Autonauts, PC, October 17th. You are responsible for colonising uninhabited planets. Start from nothing and harness natural resources to build a robot empire that can be taught anything. Automation is the name of the game. Progress through the technological ages, automate life, and achieve absolute autonomy. Ever heard about that?
No, I heard of that one.
486 gaming PC game. What you got next?
Inchidant, is that? Itchidant are available on the Switch. Another Sega Ages series for the Nintendo Switch. Push the limits of your brain and your coordination by hunting for hidden vampires, conducting an orchestra, warping your way through mazes, shooting down UFOs, and much more across 20 widely varied minigames. Get both puzzle and action in one game with Sega Ages. What have you got next?
I just put the wrong part of my script down. Kine, PC, PS4, Xbox and Switch, October 17th. A challenging 3D puzzle game about music, machines and dream. October 17th, as I say.
Little Big Workshop, PC, October 17th. Manage your workers, stations, machines and create awesome stuff as your Little Big Workshop grows into a dream factory. Also, we've got Monkey King, Hero is Back on the PC and PS4, October 17th. The curtain rises on yet another never-before-seen Chinese myth. A new saga in the journey to the West based on the original CG movie that became an unprecedented box office smash in China. This unique episode will be playable in an exciting kung fu action-adventure game.
Stranded Sails, Explorers of the Cursed Island. I wish this was on Vita, Tom. I really do. It sounds perfect for it. PS4, Xbox, Switch, October 17th. Stranded Sails is an open-world exploration farming adventure full of discoveries and quests. Along with your crew, you are shipwrecked on a mysterious archipelago. Now it's up to you to secure your survival and solve the mysteries deep in the heart of the islands. And finally, Escape.
Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes Complete Edition on PC and PS4, October 17th. Travis Strikes Again, Beam Katana charged and ready. He's been sucked into the legendary Death Drive Mark II games console, where anyone else who collects all the death balls has their wishes granted. Or do they?
Meg Aquarium, PS4, Xbox, Switch, October 18th. Hold on the brakes, pull them on hard. Stop. Nearly made a serious boo-boo. Tom, what's your VHS take-home for the week?
Oh, no.
Look at your face. You're like, oh, God, what have we done? What have we said?
No, you put me
Is
on
that
the
Michael
spot.
Jackson joke still in the show? I think it is.
Yeah. Well, it's going to have to be Moonwalker on the VHS then, isn't it?
My friend. I tell you what, that's not just a hairdo. It's a space to stash an enormously large brain. Meg Aquarium, PS4, Xbox and Switch, October 18th. A theme park management tycoon game with an aquatic twist. Design your displays, look after your fish, manage your staff and keep your guests happy. It's all in a day's work as the curator of your very own Meg Aquarium. Is this your mummy?
No, I've had mine, but
What about your shares in Nintendo? They're going to
I need to
double down on this.
It looks like the Wii balance board is returning,
I would
but
love
under
to
another
see
name.
you. I think if we ever did a YouTube video, it should be you in a pair of Mario Y-fronts playing Ring Fit Adventure on the Switch.
I don't think that's going
I watched
to promote the show very well.
I watched an IGN review of this earlier, and I watched
Did
a guy
you?
in some really outlandish fitness gear, shorts and a headband, squatting too much.
I've got short shorts, so you just let me know when. Ring-Con accessory and Ring Fit Adventure for the Nintendo Switch out today. An adventure that keeps you moving with a Ring-Con in hand and leg strap equipped. It's time to set out on a fitness-filled quest, explore a fantasy adventure world to defeat bodybuilding dragon and his minions using real-life exercises and Ring Fit Adventure. A fitness video game for Nintendo Switch. Jog in a place to traverse grass-swept plains, do overhead shoulder presses to attack enemies, and strike some yoga poses to refill your health meter. So, going to be an interesting one to see where that ends up.
Well, that's probably going to make sure that every grandma from here and from Land's End to John O'Groats, Tom, has got a Switch and that controller, but the only thing the machine gets used for is Sammy to play Fortnite when he comes round on a Sunday afternoon and doesn't want to be there and he's forced to eat pickled egg.
Yeah. So true.
Those that paid attention at the top end of the show, Tom, know that we're now at the start of the section that we like to say, what are you hoping to play?
Apex Legends. And then...
Why are you all of a sudden into this free-to-play game?
This is a good online free shooter until Modern Warfare comes out, which will be out next Friday. So that means there will be a show on
Friday. Oh, yes. You better drag your sorry ass round here and get the show recorded.
Yeah.
I'm away Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Straight
Got
up true
it.
story.
Oh, God.
And it involves full nighttime working too.
Oh, no.
So you and James might need to knuckle down.
No script next week. No show next week. Having a week off to play COD.
Oh, so that'll be me doing another one-man defense
No,
of
we
the
don't
hill,
need
will
to
it?
do any one-man.
No, we do
No
need
show.
to do a one-man show next week. It's the Halloween show. It's the one everyone's hyped for. It's that one where we go through the token joking games. Top 5 scary games. Stand by while you talk about some game you haven't played, like Project Zero, and I waffle on about how great Resident Evil 1 was when it first came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else I'll be playing this week. A little bit of Overwatch on Switch. That's it. What about you?
Have you finished Fire Emblem's Three Houses on the Switch?
No.
Did you finish Astral Chain?
Yes, other than the epilogue.
So no.
I've got too much backlog.
You only own 4 games. How can you have a backlog with that? And you finished one of them. I know that for sure.
I get sucked into the cycle of playing like the online games.
Just so the law of the show stands up, Tom, you are the self-proclaimed finisher of games, who so far since making the statement hasn't finished one game.
No, I haven't even finished Link's Awakening.
No.
I did play that this week as well.
Was that because it was by the time...
I've finally found... I've got to the dungeon.
He's woke up at 1 hour 44.
Oh, wow. The face dungeon was the one that stuck to me.
Better gamer than you gave your younger self credit for before he got addicted to guides. He had a little bit of spark in him, didn't he? He was a gamer.
Was a gamer monkey. What are you hoping to play?
Have you finished?
Yeah, nothing else really for me.
And you've remembered? I think you only cut it short because I said we'd been 1 hour 44. Cut it now, throat chop. It's dead to me. I don't want any more show. I don't want to be on it anymore. My egg is overboiling as we speak. I want soldiers, Mumsy. Give me my blanket. I've got to ask that idiot what he's hoping to play. Well, I'll tell you, Tom. I'll tell you. Well, we're not going to the cabin in the woods, which probably would make more sense this end of August, but you know what I'm like? Unconventional at best. So I'm this weekend probably...
Is it harvest time, end of August?
Yeah.
October.
It's October.
Yeah.
What did I say? The end
August.
End of
I
Halloween.
didn't know. You said end of August. Never mind.
I've got an excuse. I've been trapped in an underground bunker with a woman with a glass eye because of your rage, Lord Ponsonbury, and a spilt bucket of creosote. What's your excuse?
Celebrity status.
Celebrity problems.
Yeah.
You don't
Someone
know what
mixed
it's
me
like.
blue M&Ms with me red M&Ms, and it's just not a good week.
Came in, the show didn't have a red ribbon round, so you slapped me around the face. You kicked
Yeah.
James because you're legally allowed to, because he's your property, as you remind us week in, week out.
Been working on them thigh kicks from Sensei Rios. Sent him
You want to be
to
careful
packing.
you don't get the black belt upgrade from Devin Zilla. He's got a mighty, fearsome front kick.
He has.
Your shin broken into 1,000 pieces.
Like a breadstick in a blender.
That's what it'd be like, you taking the two hornswoggles of the show taking you down. Absolutely brilliant. What am I hoping to play?
Yes.
Dark Souls, Grand Theft Auto 4. Don't ask me why I don't play new stuff. I played a new game last week and finished it. Bought the theme tune, wrote the theme tune.
He's the guy who finishes games.
I will go looking. I will get the platinum on that before we're done, by the way. So by this time next week, that will have dropped in its entirety.
Okay.
That's my word to you. Pro gamer, I bow to you. What else am I hoping to play? Just some random retro game that's probably going to cause you so much offence that you sick live on air. So I'm not even going to grace. I might, play a bit of Red Dead Redemption 1. Which
good.
technically is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, that's crazy logic.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that. Maybe there'll be a remaster of 1 out next week. The Shadow Drop, boom.
Well, that'll certainly give you something to talk about, won't
Certainly would. I'd do a show on my own about that.
On the Friday COD comes out, I'm doing a one-man show about Red Dead Redemption, the reboot. Wow.
Good stuff.
Bold. Can't wait to see that for myself. Tom, do you think that's all you've got?
It is.
You got nothing more to offer?
No. Throwing it all on the line.
Wow. Like a true artist, he's left nothing behind today. Every single facet and gamut of his audio performance has been explored. His body wrenched and broken on the floor of the bunker. He's spent, ladies and gentlemen, because he gives everything to this show. And that's all we have time for this week. As always, thank you for your time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming, and remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. Tom, see you soon.
Au revoir.